Hello YouTube, welcome to the Riding with Rick channel. I'm Rick, your host. And over the next couple days, I'm going to be applying a sealant to this 2018 Honda Goldwing. I hope you follow along. Well, thank you for joining me today. Over the next couple days, I'm going to be applying a sealant to the new Honda Goldwing. In my case, it's a 2018 model. The color is Ardent Red. I think that we can all agree that the paint on the new Honda Goldwing is less than stellar. It's a very thin paint and even a thinner clear coat protection. So we need to put some type of protection on the paint, whether that be a wax, and there's many different types, a sealer, or some type of coating like a ceramic coating, or now there's a new glycine coating. I'm going to specifically apply a sealer, and if you do that, you have to go through a paint correction stage. My process is I'm going to go through a paint correction stage, which is going to include, and the reason why it's going to take me a couple days to do, I have to fill in some stone chips. I'm going to go through a polish stage, and then I'm going to go through a sealer stage, and then I'm going to try out the new Nexgen Ceramic spray as a top coat. And I think that should give me adequate protection for the next riding season. If you're going to seal your motorcycle, do a paint correction phase or step. That's very important, because if you don't do that and you just apply the sealer, well, you're sealing in all the defects, etc., and it won't look good. So you have to kind of go through this stage, and it is the most tedious part of this job. On this motorcycle, this is Ardent Red. This paint is considered a tricolor paint, meaning there is a base color, a top color, and a clear coat in order to achieve the overall appearance of what you see of this paint. I'm not a big fan of tricolor paints. If you need to fix a defect in the paint, such as a paint chip or some stone chip, you're going to have to get some touch-up paint. And these are pens. I got them from Color Right, and I have a base coat, which is the black, and then I have a top coat, which is the red, and then I have a clear coat, and that's why it's going to take me a couple days to do this. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your motorcycle is very clean, and I'm going to go prep the areas that I know need touch up. Now, the camera's pointed at my bike in like direct sunlight, which is not the best time to go identify paint that's chipping. The best time to find paint chips is later in the day, as the sun is starting to go down, and you can really see where they stand out. You'll find them mostly in the leading edges of the motorcycle, the fairing, the front fender, probably your mirrors. You'll rarely find them on the back end of the motorcycle and the tail of the motorcycle. So let's get started. I use isopropyl alcohol to prep the area, then using the pen, fill in the paint chip, being very careful not to flow it on existing paint. Give a good shake on these things and apply it very, very sparingly. Okay, so I've got the base coat applied, and now I'm ready to apply the top coat, which is another red. Now that I've got the base coat and the top color coat on, it's now time to apply the clear. Things are starting to look really good here, and I may even be able to get away with without sanding, which is I hope. So I'm going to put the clear on now. Well, now that I have the base, top coat, and clear applied to the motorcycle, I need to park it for a couple of days to allow that clear coat to cure before I can pick up and finish out the paint correction phase. So I'll see you in a couple days. Welcome back, folks. Okay, so after a couple days, I've let the clear coat set up on this motorcycle that I applied to the paint chips. I'm very happy with the results. So I'm going to finish out this paint correction phase and get on to putting the sealer and the ceramic spray on. To finish out the paint correction phase, I'm going to be using a 3-inch DA polisher. You don't need to break the bank on one of these things. This is by Westool, and I think I probably paid 50 bucks for it. but you want to make sure that it has a variable speed control on it. I'm going to be using a correction glaze by 3D. I found that this is their speed product. I found that this is very forgiving on the clear coat on this motorcycle. You can get away with a lot, but I'm going to take one section at a time, pay particular attention to where I filled in the paint chips. I may have to do a little wet sanding on the saddlebag damage and the top case damage, but I'm going to try to take a pass with this first. Load your pad with product and pea-sized dots around the outer edge of the pad. When starting your polisher, start it at the lowest speed possible and turn it up about halfway, making sure that you move the polisher up and down and side to side, never leaving your polisher in one spot at a time. Here's a little polishing tip for you. The least amount of product that you have on the pad, the more it will cut. So if you start out with a loaded pad and work your way through it, it has less cut than it will as the stuff wears off on it. Tip number 2, don't ever start the machine unless you have it applied to the paint like this, or stop it. I've got a little spot here that I corrected with touch-up paint that is going to need a little wet sanding. This is what separates the men from the boys, but it's really easy to do. I'm using 1500 grit wet dry sandpaper, and do not use your finger. I found a little, I don't know, something I had laying around the house here that's got hard and it's flat with a little tape. And I'm going to flow a little water on the spot here with a sponge or a spray bottle and very gently go over the spot to flatten it out. You're looking at one area of the saddlebag, that leading edge of the saddlebag that I had no choice to wet sand on. And you may say, oh my gosh, that is not looking good. But I'm going to take the DA sander to this with, I'm going to load up the pad and I'm going to work a couple other parts. And when the pad becomes with less product on it, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go at this. And it might take me a little bit of time, but when I'm done, you won't even be able to tell that the paint was corrected here. I've color corrected that nice and smooth. You can't tell at all that I fixed a pretty good sized ding here in the saddlebag. I'm going to go over the rest of the bike here and finish this out, because that's the worst of it. I'll give you one last tip on the DA. Watch anywhere there's a corner, you know, here. You do not want to run your DA sander down that corner like that. If you run it, move your DA sander and keep the sander moving as quickly as possible. If you run it down here like that, you're for sure going to take the clear coat off that edge. All right, I'm about to move on to the next step, but I've completed the color correction phase. It's very important that you do this step if you plan on sealing your motorcycle or using a coating such as ceramic coating or glycine coating. And the reason for it is that whether you clay bar your bike or you use a polisher and a DA sander that I did, here's the bottom of my pad. That was orange. And when I thought that my motorcycle was clean, it's really not. So if I use the sealer straight up, I would be sealing in all that. And that's what you don't want to do. So I'm going to move on to the next stage here. All right, now the sealing stage, what everybody's been waiting for. Before I actually do this phase, I have to remove any type of, since I put a polish on here, before I do anything, I want to remove what I just put on, and I'm going to do that with a coating prep spray. I'll put a link down in the description with this stuff. This is made by DP. Once that's done, I'm going to apply a sealant. This is by Chemical Guys. It's their Jet Seal. It goes on just like any other wax. The only difference is that you want to allow it to cure for 20 minutes before removing. You don't want to wash your bike or do anything else to it for at least 12 hours. So let's get on it. All right, now that I've applied the prep coat and gotten everything off the paint. It's back down to paint now. I'm going to go ahead and apply the jet seal. You don't want to do this in direct sunlight, so I've moved the bike into shade and let the paint cool down. I'm going to apply it by hand. It's very easy to do. And just wait 20 minutes before you wipe off. So I'm going to work a little ahead of myself and come back and wipe off, because this will take forever if I don't. I've got the sealer applied to the motorcycle now. The manufacturer suggests that I give it 12 hours before washing the motorcycle or doing anything else with it. My next step is to apply a ceramic spray coating. So I'm going to park the bike for another 12 hours. Bad weather's moving in for the next couple days. So I'll see you when things clear up. Welcome back, folks. Finally, the rain has moved out of the Philadelphia region, and I can finish the last step, applying a sealer to this motorcycle. I'm going to be applying the last stage of this process, the Nexgen Ceramic spray, and I'll talk a little bit about this in a second. But at this stage, when you have a sealer applied to the motorcycle, you can apply a wax of your choice, and it will give you plenty of protection for at least the riding season. But I'm going to opt to try out the Nexgen spray ceramic coating. I don't work for this company, and I don't actually have good things to say about their business practices. If you go this route or you buy this product, don't sign up for their VIP program. If you do, you're signing an agreement that they will continue to bill your credit card monthly, and I think it's like $12 a month or something like that. So just order it and pay for the shipping and avoid the VIP program. I think it's a shady business practice. However, I hear very good things about this product. You spray it on and you wipe it off. Only apply to cool surface. Do not apply in direct sunlight or to hot surfaces. Do not let the product self-dry. Shake well before using. Ensure surface is clean and dry before applying. Lightly mist the ceramic spray onto individual body panels and use a clean microfiber towel to rub the spray in. Flip towel over and lightly polish to a high gloss. All right, I've got the ceramic spray all applied, and I'll just give you a quick walk around on the motorcycle. I will make a comment about the ceramic spray, that it's very easy to apply. I wouldn't recommend doing it on a windy day. You can get it on your plastic. Any other places that you may think that you don't want to get like a traditional type wax, it's probably applied on top of a sealer. It's probably slicker than any wax I've ever used, and I've used a lot. All right, it took all of 15 minutes to apply that ceramic spray coating. Well, I'd like to conclude this video where I started it, and that's in the Honda cave. I think that we can all agree that the Honda paint is very thin and the clear coat is even thinner. So you need to get some type of protection down on the motorcycle, whether it be a wax, a sealer wax, ceramic coating, glycine coating, whatever you choose, get it protected. If you like what you see, please click the like button. And as always, if you leave a comment, I'll comment on your comment. Well, thanks for watching.